All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I appreciate everybody being here this evening. Beautiful day, so I appreciate you all taking time out of your day to come take part in this August 8th school board meeting. So first thing we're going to do is say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we don't have a student of the month here, so I'm going to start that off. So everybody stand up, we'll get that. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. All right, Dr. Cleveland, is there any change? Are there any changes for the agenda?
No, sir, except for, and I don't know if it needs to be added to the agenda or just a discussion about the ASBA regional meeting that we're hosting on October the 10th.
Where would be a good place to add that into?
We could add that and make it H.
H?
That's,
okay, yep, that's fine.
is that okay with you?
Yep. ASBA conflict with, that's October board meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
October the
All right, anything else? All right.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented with the one change for item DH.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mrs. Creek, a second by Mr. Ramos to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That brings us to the consent portion of our agenda. There's 4 items there that are included in the consent agenda, including last month's school board meetings, some updates to the student handbook, some end of the year grant information, and then the AP, people that got AP, the 5-year report for the AP stuff. So does anybody have any questions about any of those items, anything we need to talk about, or are we good with the consent agenda part of it?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Cook and a second by Mr. Bell to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Cleveland, who's got a lot of really neat stuff to go through here. So take it away.
Okay, thank you, sir. The first couple of items really is personnel update. I'd like to introduce you to some wonderful people. First, this evening, I'd like to invite Miss Amy Harrison, who's our new principal at the Don Tyson School of Innovation. She's not new to us, but she's certainly new, and she's taking Miss Bort's place. Miss Bort's transitioned to an assistant superintendent position in another district. So I'd like to invite Miss Amy to come to the podium. Welcome.
Hello. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to represent Don Tyson School of Innovation and the students and faculty. So excited to continue the work and growth and partnerships with the community and business and industry and continue to give those opportunities to students across our district.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Good luck. Have a great year.
Thank you.
We also have someone who's been an assistant principal in the district for a long time, has also been assistant athletic director, and I really would like to ask Miss Betsy to come forward, Miss Betsy Barker. She's assistant principal at Springdale High School, and she's an absolute wonderful person, and I think ready to be back with the kids.
I am, definitely. I want to say how much I appreciate the opportunity to be back in the building and working with students and teachers. I'm excited to be part of such a great staff at Springdale High School and also the admin and the students. So I'm ready to get back to work.
You have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been working.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Also, I'd like to invite Miss Melanie Johnson. I think I saw her. There she is. Miss Johnson, we hired her late, and we're extremely glad that she was not only available, but wanted to come to Jones Elementary School. So I'd like to introduce you to Miss Melanie Johnson.
Hi. I want to thank the school board and Dr. Cleveland for allowing me to lead and serve in the Springdale family. And I want to thank Ms. Johnson for welcoming me into the Jones family and for bringing me alongside to serve her and the students and the families of Jones. and I look forward to shining bright and growing together. That's what we say at Jones. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming over.
Interesting, we've got Mr. Beers. Come on up, Jake. What kind of shoes do you have on tonight?
I got pointy ones on today.
Okay.
I didn't wear sandals.
Jake is, he's got epic style. That's something I can't pull off. Jake is, he's now our elementary lead instructional specialist. And he's done a remarkable job under Ms. Feig, also under Ms. Jackson. So he's going to want to lead in a different way.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you, Dr. Cleveland and the board for the opportunity to serve in a different role. The last 5 years I've served as assistant principal at Jones, and 3 years before that I was the elementary science specialist. And I was thinking the last time I think I stood here was when we were getting ready for the solar eclipse and getting glasses on. And so I'm excited for the solar eclipse in 2024, but I'm also excited for the opportunity to lead the instructional side of elementary. So looking forward to an awesome year and serving in a different way. So
Right up to Mr. Beers.
thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. I'd also like to introduce the shortest guy in the room, Coach Burnett. He's not the shortest, he's probably the tallest. But we're welcoming Coach Burnett back home to Springdale. He's our new athletic director, not the executive, but an athletic director. And I'd like to introduce you to such a great man. We're glad to have such a wonderful man back home, and hope that you stay for a long time. Podium's yours.
Dr. Cleveland Board, I'd just like to thank y'all for this great opportunity. I wasn't looking to get out of coaching, 3 or 4 months ago, but I felt like God dropped this opportunity in my lap for me to come up here and serve the kids in Springdale, in this community, where I spent 5 years here from 2005 to 2010. And when it was dropped in my lap, I just felt like I had to walk through that door, and I'm so glad that I did, because the last 3 weeks being on the job has really made me feel different from the coaching part. I get to kind of help a lot of people, and just the kids. So thank you for this great opportunity.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We're glad you're here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I heard a story about him yesterday. I'll just take brief liberty. I was over at Springdale High School talking to the faculty. And after the faculty meeting, I won't tell you who it is, but a young lady came up to me and she said, "I wanted to tell you how appreciative I am of Coach Burnett." I said, "Really? What happened?" And she said, "Well, I looked out the window or something, and Coach Burnett pulled up in a vehicle and had a big ice chest full of Gatorade and water to give to the band." And she said, that melted my heart and made me feel like absolutely he is part of this team, part of this whole program, not just athletics, but all of it. So, Coach Burnett, you're already making a huge impact, and we appreciate you. We also have a new coach among us here, Miss Jody Northcutt. I'd like to invite you. She's our new Silver Stars coach and English language arts teacher.
Hi, so I'm Jody. Thank you so much, Dr. Cleveland and the board and the coaching staff and Coach Fimple and Wood and Dr. Greep for such a wonderful opportunity to work with the Silver Star dancers and to pour into them both in and off the field. I'm excited to work with the faculty and the students at HAR-BER teaching English this year. I think they have a great program, and I'm excited to see what I can add to it also.
That's great.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Okay. Item B, or highly effective schools designation. I'd like to invite Ms. Mary Mulligan to the stage. Ms. Brandon, you're welcome to come as well. Thank you,
Hello. Thank you, Dr. Cleveland and board, for allowing us to speak tonight on behalf of Bayari Elementary, and we're thankful for your continued support and that of the rest of our district admin team to help us to get to this point. So we've recently applied for the Highly Effective Schools Accreditation. We actually started this work after receiving our PLC distinction in May. So we started just looking at our strategic action plan and the PLC work that we had in place, and we realized we were doing this work, and we wanted to continue to celebrate the hard work that our teachers and our students were putting into place. And so we took out that application. I'll say Ms. Peterson was probably the lead on this. She kept reminding me and telling me, we've got this, we've got this. And so very proud of the work we're doing, because a lot of schools sometimes they'll put in this this application to request for different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. But we knew that the work we were doing with our PLC process work, that we had the right systems in place. And so we applied for the highly effective schools in June, and we found out in July that we received full accreditation for that. So we're super excited about that. I'm very proud of my staff. I have some few staff. Can I have some of my BAR teachers stand up, please? I want to thank them for coming out tonight and helping us celebrate. We're a team, and so we take this on together, the good and the bad, and so we're very glad to have this to celebrate with you all. One of the things I wanted to also share with you is we talked a lot last year about our data and the results of that data, and so I wanted to share a little bit more about our data from this spring. And although it wasn't exactly what we wanted to see, we did find our glows, and those are one of the things I want to share with you tonight. Our fourth grade students in testing in ACT Aspire, that they're fourth and fifth graders, our fourth grade students continue to grow in every subject area tested in comparison to previous year's fourth graders, double-digit percentage growth. In addition, they also, thank you, they also grew longitudinally as well in that double percentage growth. So those kids are really moving and growing. We're very proud of that work that's being done. When you look at our third grade students' data, you know, we think about our third grade students where the kids were kindergarten when in 2020, and you know, they've had blended learning. They had a lot of things happen through the years of education, but the good thing is that we have strong systems in place at Bayari, that we ensured that intervention for additional time and support and the things that they were struggling in. And so, although when you compare those third graders with last year's third graders, you don't see the growth in that. But we wanted to tell you about the growth that we have seen. And so with our MAP data, there is a linking study, thank you, I always forget that word, a linking study to ACT Aspire, which tells the predictions of what our data should look like when those students take the ACT Aspire test. And so for our third graders in that linking data, when you looked at their end of the year second grade MAP scores and then compared it with ACT Aspire, we had to look at the 70th percent for proficiency on MAP. That's what ACT Aspires, what the linking study says. Those are the amount of students predicted to be proficient on the ACT Aspire. So for those students on the MAP language test, only 4% of our students were predicted to be proficient on ACT Aspire language, yet 51% were.
And keep in mind that the MAP language is actually read to our students. MAP ACT is not.
In reading, using that same criteria, 8% were predicted to be ready or exceeding, and 19% were. And so again, that's not where we want to be, but we're growing students. And you know, student by student, skill by skill, that's what we want to see, is that we've got the right systems in place to move them. In math, 5% of our students were predicted to be proficient, and 26% were proficient. And so our, you know, that third grade team, you know, very proud of the work that they're doing as well, because, you know, when they looked at that first glance of ACT Aspire, it's hard to see the good stuff, but it's there. And so we have to look and we have to know our students, we have to know the work we're doing, and so that we can find the things that we want to celebrate to continue the good things that are in place for us. So we're very proud of those systems, and we just will put this work in continuously, and we'll continue to see student achievement grow, and we thank you for all your continued support.
Excellent way to start the school year.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. We expect to have a better tool this next year in Atlas as far as, you know, the ACT Aspire is more of a predictor for how well students will do in the ACT. Not necessarily a predictor of where kids truly are in regard to their reading, math, literacy scores, or potential, where they truly are. So we look forward to that, and I'm confident that it'll be a better indicator of the work that's truly going on in each of the schools. I'm proud of Ms. Malkin and her whole team. Mr. Ellis? There he is. I was looking for you seated. We have a workforce education update, and we're very pleased with all the happenings that took place throughout the summer. Mr. Ellis is going to provide a good report for us.
Hey, good evening, board. Appreciate your time today. Just want to give you some updates on where we're at as a district. We've got some exciting things that have been happening. So one of the big pieces, I'll start off at the bottom of this slide, is our naming and I guess that'd be our grand opening at Don Tyson School of Innovation for our Northwest Arkansas Venture Career Center. So that will include our NWTI programming, which is industrial maintenance, diesel technology. Also, that'll include a partnership with NWAC, which is leading us to an opportunity for a practical nursing degree track. So these two pieces have culminated where our students will have opportunities all across the district to attend that, earn the same certifications that they would in that post-secondary setting for free. And if they want to continue on into a nursing track, they can do their prereqs and then they can stack that towards that practical nursing licensure. And if they continue to pursue that, they can eventually move that into an RN track. So I think a lot of times there's some messaging that we're trying to create a technical trade school. That's not what we're doing. What we're trying to do is create a platform of options for all of our students. So it's really about being career ready, whether you're going to college, as you've heard me say, or whether you're going into the workforce where it's part-time of either or. So we're trying to continue to bring opportunities to our students. You'll see Archer, which is a huge piece for them. We're going to stand up a construction fundamentals course. That's a skills course. It's a prerequisite to a pre-apprenticeship program that we use. And that goes across all of our district for that curriculum, so that can lead you into a multitude of tracks. The diesel technology, we continue to up that program. We were fortunate that Office of Skills and Development out of the state, which is funded through Arkansas Economic Development Commission and the Workforce Board, has partnered with us to purchase some trainers that will give us a total of 12 new hydraulic trainers and 15 new electrical trainers that will really start to move us in some areas that our business and industry partners are desperately in need for, those skill sets. That's also going to allow us to continue to push forward to eventually grow that into a 2-year program and really create a niche market for our students so that we're duplicating more certifications for them that lead them into a higher track. Another piece of this is we've got the aviation program partnership that we're in discussions with NWTI with currently. That will lend itself to taking part of the equipment that was donated there and in a partnership with NWTI. Eventually they will develop a post-secondary track that leads into some type of aviation certification. And through our partnership with them, our students will have an opportunity to go to NWTI and take part in that program. We're still working on a potential MOU for that currently. And then also some big program updates for us is in computer science. We had an alignment with our teachers, and we're bringing in some industry experts, as you hear me call them subject matter experts, who will help us to kind of propel ourselves forward more towards an automation, robotics, the IT, the cybersecurity piece, and how all that interrelates together. Business, we did a revamp of our survey of business curriculum to get that more in line with what we're seeing in business and industry. And youth science, as we mentioned to you, we'll start implementing that. That's an aptitude testing platform that will help our students and parents better determine tracks that are based on aptitude and some interest, and it'll help them line up course sequences as they move forward through senior high school, and whether they go into a post-secondary track or they choose to go into a workforce setting, that'll give them a lot of opportunities to kind of hone in on certain tracks that will get them there through the quickest route. And we'll continue to build post-secondary credit opportunities so that will help them facilitate that in a faster manner. A couple of other big pieces to this. I've been working with Stacy Hopkins through our ESSER funding. So another part of that, which is big news for us at the Venture Career Center, our instructors attended a HAR-BER, that's a CNC machine, which you see on that lower right and lower portion of that screen, from Phillips Manufacturing. They're a big partner with us. So now that's allowed us to become a HAR certification center, which means we can test other schools and other programs and test their instructors, and we can also test students. We were able to deliver 143 new sewing machines to the FACS program. The SHS Ag Mechanics program, you see a manual mill and lathe that's up in the top right. So that'll give them a basic skill set that ties into a lot of call that we've had for them, business and industry from a fabrication standpoint. Our project Lead the Way, working with them currently, that CNC desktop mill, which is right below the sewing machines. That will give them a leg up in the advanced manufacturing, computer integrated manufacturing, and some programming sectors of their program. In process, we have with Archer that construction fundamentals equipment that we hope to purchase through ESSER. With the HAR-BER High School, the ag program, the greenhouse, we're working on a good landscaping project equipment base where they've got the ability to go out and do some professionally based landscaping and tie that into an entrepreneurship style format. And another big project is basically being able to purchase more robotics trainers that we can spread across the district, so we can tie that into our computer science and also into our IT sector, so that our students start to understand how those are evolving into a process-oriented individual who is very valuable in the marketplace today. So the last piece of this is we were able to do somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 summer camps with our CTE instructors. And this also ties into our parent university. So from our ag programs to our industrial maintenance, our diesel program, we had our first district PD for all of our ag instructors that you see in the top middle. So that was a culmination of 5th, 6th, 8th, and 9th graders. We had an all-girls welding camp, a lot of different opportunities for our students to come in and kind of integrate with those high school programs and make some connections to understand what's available to them. So we feel like that was very successful. I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of close to 200 students participate in those camps. So we're able to provide them lunch, transport them back and forth. And the whole goal is for them to start really to see what the opportunities are within this district. Another piece that will continue to tie into that is the parent university that you've mentioned, I mentioned to you before. And that's where I'll be working with the elementary schools again to bring a lot of these programs across the board in our career and technical education, from business to medical, to our ag programs, our industrial maintenance, our diesel technology, so that the parents and the students as 4th and 5th graders can attend a 3-week session 1 night a week for about 2 hours an evening. And they'll do some fun hands-on activities, and it'll get them a base for what we have to offer in our schools. We did 4 of those in electrical options last year, and it was really amazing, the parents that are moving into our community, for them to understand what opportunities are in business and industry, but also for them to understand what our student opportunities are within our district. So we'll continue to up those and increase the number. We have a United Way grant working with Shauna Lyons to facilitate that, and some great elementary principals, and some of them are sitting in this room, that continue to move that forward so that we get more and more participation. So I think from that standpoint, we're moving forward. We continue to be able to remove some hurdles and barriers for our students in the post-secondary market, where we're getting those concurrent credit hours and continuing to build on our program and upskill our instructors. So any questions for me?
That was a lot.
I know. Sorry, that was the fire hose version.
Yeah. That's good. Great job.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
We have a summer school update by our associate superintendent.
Good evening, board. Our district was very busy this summer, and Ms. Tischer and I just want to give you an update of all the amazing things that were happening in our district this summer. So I'm going to kick us off by talking about elementary, middle school, and you can see I've added as many pictures as I could so you could see how happy our students were to be coming to school this summer and what an amazing job our teachers did in engaging them so that they could come and have an enjoyable time. So elementary, middle school, summer school update, I want to give a big, huge shout out to our teachers. This year we did things a little differently, and we asked teachers to be in charge of our summer school programs, and I cannot brag enough what an amazing job these individuals did. They did God's work by ensuring the safety of our students, by ensuring that materials and supplies were in the hands of teachers and that kids were coming to school. So I was very, very impressed by their leadership and ability to lead our summer programs. We did provide transportation, lunch, and snack for all of our kiddos that attended. We had 16 out of 18 of our elementary schools participate in the district-sponsored program, and I'll explain to you what the other 2 elementary schools did, and all of our middle schools participated. Because of the nature, the size of our district and transportation and feeding logistics, we did divide the district into halves for elementary, middle school. So our SHS feeder pattern attended summer school June 5th through the 16th from 9 to 2, and our HAR-BER High feeder pattern attended June 19th through June 30th from 9 to 2. And we served approximately 800 students during our summer program for elementary and middle. In addition to our district-sponsored summer program, we had 16 other summer programs happening in our district across all of our campuses. We had Arissa Health, SOAR, CCLC, Chanel Mental Health Services provided camps as just a small sampling of the 16. And the 2 schools that I said did not participate in our district-sponsored summer school, they participated for their second year with the UAMS Pathway Summer Program. And this is a really neat program that allows our kindergarten through 5th grade students in those 2 schools to get to attend a summer camp sponsored by UAMS that talks about health and nutrition. And you can see I put a couple of pictures. The bottom one is from Jones, the top is from Elmdale. The kids get white coats and they have a white coat ceremony. And they get to participate from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 2 weeks during our summer. And that program served approximately 200 of our kiddos. This year we started a new program, Kindergarten Jumpstart. And I added this little GIF to this because if you've ever been in an elementary school on the first day, this is exactly what kindergarten feels like. I learned early on in my administrative career not to ever wear high heels or uncomfortable shoes. You always wear tennis shoes because you are running. These little guys are quick and they can get away very, very fast from you. So our Kindergarten Jumpstart, ran from July 31st to August 4th, so we just finished up from 8:30 to 11:30. We provided snacks, and our focus was on kindergarten behavior routines and procedures. We wanted kids to come to school, and we wanted them to know what it felt and looked like and sounded like to be a kindergarten student. And these were just some pictures that we were able to take as we were in and out of these programs, and it was really amazing. We had a lot of positive feedback. We brought in at the end of the year last year some teachers to work on some curriculum, and they designed some executive functioning curriculum as well as routine and procedure curriculum that our teachers were able to use. So that was been super fun. We served approximately 420 students in our Kindergarten Jump Start program. Our benefits, our parents got to practice pickup and drop off, which can be a little bit chaotic on the first day of school. Our students did learn routines and procedures of kindergarten. It was a less overwhelming environment for them, so it was a lot more calming to come during our Jump Start than when the other 500 plus kids would be in attendance. Child Find, we inevitably every year have students that show up that have very specific needs that we're having to scramble to figure out how to meet those. And we had some school psychology specialists that worked during this program, and they were able to come in and do some observations, gather some data, and help get things in place so that those kids can be successful day one of school. And we were able to collect all kinds of data. And next steps for our kindergarten students, our kindergarten is being revamped next year. And so for the first 2 weeks of school, we're going to continue this work, and we're going to just focus on routines, procedures. And every additional staff person that we have in our district will be all hands on deck in our elementary schools to support this work. So we're really, really excited about that.
Okay, the junior high and high school update. This year, our host sites for junior high was Central Junior High, meaning that all junior high students in the district who participated in summer school reported to Central Junior High. That was with Dr. Lofton, and he had Miss Stacy Perry assisting him, directing summer school. And then all of our high school students reported to HAR-BER High School with Dr. Greep and Miss Markham. And so we had 485 students enrolled in summer school in grades 8 through 12. They recovered 529 semester credits, which is huge. So that was 9th through 12th grade. And then our 8th graders acquired 69 semesters of essential learning. And we have 5 additional seniors graduate. And that counts as on-time graduation. And so that was very exciting. And then for Choice Summer School, just a reminder what we mean by Choice Summer School. Those are students who have so many electives or program options that they want to get ahead in the summer so they can maybe take an additional elective and get a requirement finished in the summer. So for example, students who take AP Human Geography in 9th grade, take civics and econ. You're like, yep, my kids did that. Take civics and econ in Choice Summer School. So they get those graduation requirements finished in the summer, and it allows them to take that additional AP Human course in the 9th grade. So for Choice Summer School, we had 288 students enrolled, and they acquired in 9th through 12th grade, they acquired 259 credits, and then the 8th graders who were enrolled acquired 29 semesters of learning. So that was really huge. We're excited about that. Additionally, in our junior high summer school, they added a whole workforce and community engagement element. So the high school level, they added specials. So they had art, music, and PE at the high school level, which really helped with attendance and engagement with our students. And at the junior high level, they added a workforce component. And so this is one of our students here on our piece of heavy equipment. And technical education and workforce opportunities were provided with the idea to incentivize our students to engage in career pathways to be motivated to graduate from high school, because a lot of our students in our summer programs are already recovering credits at the secondary level. And so they also had a career expo. They had 11 exhibits there with hundreds of job opportunities for high school graduates. And that handsome guy there in the middle in the orange shirt from Bruner and Lay just happens to be my son. He got to run his first career booth all by himself for his company, and so he was super excited. We had the Be Pro, Be Proud truck there. You can see the sheriffs. Like I said, 11 exhibits. They also engaged in community field trips. Those field trips were to War Eagle Cavern, Northwest Technical Institute, where they learned about all of the certificate and diploma program options there. They also toured Brightwater to learn about the technical options for that program. And then they also went on a trip to Barnes & Noble, where they were all allowed to choose a book to take with them as well. And so here are all of our happy kids, and you'll notice food is in almost every picture because that makes teenagers happy. And then finally, we want to give a very special thank you to all the community partners. So not only did we have all of these hundreds of kids here in the summer, but it took a lot of people in our community to make all this happen. And so we want to give a shout out to all of them. And again, I cannot thank the teachers and the directors and everyone who comes together to make this happen. I cannot thank them enough. This ran the whole first 3 weeks of June. And so this was a big undertaking, and I just want to give a major shout out to our district staff, including our food service staff. And I know Gina is here tonight, and you'll hear from her. I cannot even tell you, and I know Ms. Fink is giving an amen, we have the most amazing food service department that a district could ever ask for. And I cannot, where's Gina?
Right in front of you.
Right by me. I cannot thank you and your staff enough. Okay, thank you. Do y'all have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
What's really awesome is the board is behind all of this, to help create these opportunities. So thank you for all you've done to help us do this. Okay, Mr. White.
All right.
Thank you, Bay Bears. Appreciate it. And Jones.
Hello, board.
Hello, Board, Dr. Cleveland. I've got an update on construction and then some of the support services tonight. So first of all, I wanted to thank all the departments that work for the support services, all the architects and construction managers that work with us, and all the building staff and administrators. So yesterday, I went to George to meet a lot of the teachers, and that got me to thinking about this because they hadn't been in George all summer long. So they showed up yesterday to get in their classrooms, and you know, they were caught off guard a little bit. But they've all been very positive. We've made a lot of progress since last week. So that just got me to thinking about everybody that the construction involves. So just wanted to thank all of those people. Okay, at Central, it's moving along pretty good. This is in the downstairs area. They're putting in some of the block walls for the corridor areas. A lot of the fireproofing's in, a lot of infrastructure's going into this building. There's a few other pictures of sprinkler pipes and everything going in. Exterior, they've got a lot of the yellow board on, and they've started applying the liquid waterproofing to these to try to get these buildings closed up to the weather. So this is on the back side of Central. They've got all the liquid applied waterproofing on it. More on the interior, they're doing a lot of block work in there to get those interior walls done. Here's the side toward Gutenson. They've got all the yellow board on, and they're actually starting to put the waterproofing on that as well. And then you can see the learning stairs in that multi-purpose area are pretty much complete. You guys have any questions at Central? I mean, it's looking pretty good. I know the driveway that goes out to Emma Street, they're probably about 3 weeks away from making that street cut. So they're pouring, so we had to put culverts across that drainage ditch. So we've got those in. They poured the head walls on that. Curbs are poured back on the north side of that. So once they get all that complete, they'll actually make that connection onto Emma. So
I was over there yesterday. I think Mr. Hudson was over there yesterday as well. We drove Emma. It's open.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been on the new Emma Street behind Central. It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
But that'll be great for Mr. Conkin and his whole bus team.
Yeah.
Getting in and out back through there. By the way, y'all did an awesome job throughout summer school too, transporting everyone. So just kudos to you guys.
Yeah.
Now, where I saw the double gates
Mm-hmm.
on Emma Street, is our road going to come straight into it, or is it curving around and going to the double gates when they have that?
It'll come out. It'll come out on the east side of that double gate. Kind of, you'll see the corner of our property. There's corner posts, and then there's new fence right through there. It'll come out right there.
So there's a really wide area.
Mm-hmm.
We probably do this properly, but there's a really wide area that's already been, it's been cut, it's been
Yep.
open. That's where it's coming out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It is, and like I said, we expect that to be done in probably about 3 weeks, as long as the weather cooperates. So that'll help the traffic flow and everything at Central a lot. And I think that Emma Street will help it also, you know.
What's the estimated completion date?
To move into phase 1, I think that will be, I don't have it with me, but I think it'll be right after spring break. So we're going to move in.
2024.
Okay. Yep. So we will, whenever we get enough complete to make the switch, we'll have to plan that move with Dr. Lofton. We've been visiting with him because there's some testing and stuff that goes on around that time. So we're just going to have to really pick our time to move. You know, it'd be nice if we could do it over spring break, but yeah, there'll be a lot of planning to make that move. And then once we make that move, we'll start demolition on some of that and then start phase 2, roll right into it. But we'll be working with Dr. Lofton on a lot of that.
I was over there yesterday while my wife was doing some pictures of the volleyball teams, and the teachers were all doing tours of the new area, and they were finding their classrooms, and they were pretty pumped. They
Yeah.
were pretty excited about it.
Yeah. So yesterday, Alan did tours at Southwest and at Central, different times of the day. He said everything was very positive. All the staff, all the administrators really enjoyed getting to go in. They could actually see, what areas are going to be and what it looks like. So that was really a good day spent doing those tours and stuff. So. Okay, so at Southwest, they've got a lot of their exterior boards on, and this is actually the north side. They've started putting on a lot of the brick, so it's moving really well there. They're completing a lot of the interior walls or metal stud framed, starting to put on the board back on the east side of the building. On the inside, they've got ductwork going in, sprinklers. A lot of the infrastructure is going in. They've got some HVAC units set on the roof. They'll be ducting those in soon. So that'll be a conditioned space pretty quick. There's some more views of the learning stairs. They've just got a ton of metal stud work going on in there, and then putting in electric and a lot of the utilities. That just shows the mini gym and more of the same type of work going on. They are making a lot of progress at Southwest, and like I said, they toured yesterday. Is all positive. They could actually see what areas are going to be and everything. So, you guys have anything at Southwest? We did take possession of the weight room area. We've got that pretty much done. We did order a few more lockers, so they would have, I think 52 is what would fit in there. So those are ordered, and then we're going to put some of that, the flooring in the weight room, like we did at Springdale and HAR-BER. As soon as it gets here, they'll get that put in, and then that'll be completed. But the coaches are using it. They've been using it most of this summer when they came back to start practices. Okay, so at Springdale High School, they've got most of the locker rooms back on the south side. All the concrete work's done, the block work. This is a view of the interior. This is looking down the educational wing. So they've got the block work done. They've got the roof on. They're starting to run a lot of duct work and a lot of utility work in that area. These are just some of the hallways that's between the gyms, main gym and the auxiliary gym. And then the picture on the right is the auxiliary gym. So they're starting to stub everything out for the duct sock, getting ready for the HVAC units. As soon as they get here, they'll put those in and start conditioning that building for the wood gym floor.
Do you have an ETA on that, or is it still wide open?
It's still November. Is the ETA on those two big HVAC units for those gym areas. We do have temporary cooling in there, but we'll have to get those big units on before we can get the humidity down enough to put the wood floor in. It's got to acclimate and pull that moisture out of that concrete. There's a couple more views of the arena. They are getting ready to pour the upstairs to finish all that concrete up. I took Coach Fimple and Coach Barnett and Coach Wood over there maybe a week and a half ago. We toured it, actually got up there and walked around. It really is looking good up there. Here's a couple other views. Some of the staircases that's in the educational wing, there's a couple sets of staircases and an elevator on that wing. And so they've actually started putting some of the finishes on the exterior and stuff. So they're making good progress there. And we should get in February. We still have a few utilities opened up in the courtyard that will be opened. When school starts, they'll have construction fence around those until we get all the connections made. You guys have any questions about Springdale? Okay. So George Elementary, these are the 2 classrooms that were set up the best as possible yesterday at 3 o'clock. I went over.
I haven't seen any of that on Sunday.
So, yeah, Randy and I talked on Monday. Last week, this building, you wouldn't have thought you could have had anybody in it. And made a few phone calls. We pulled it together, worked over the weekend. And this was at 3:30 yesterday is when I took all these photos. I waited as long as I could. But like I said, all the teachers have been great. Swope's been great. They're working with us. So these are the halls and the cafeteria. We were still grinding on those up until about 3 o'clock today in the cafeteria to get all the grout and everything off of those. Ceiling tile, we got all the ceiling tile in except one section. We were waiting on the mason today to get a block replaced that got broke. As soon as it got replaced, they'll have it back up and ceiling tile in tonight. We got all the HVAC running yesterday. We finished it up about 8:45 last night. Other than the 2 units that's in the new lobby, those aren't up and running yet. But all of the classrooms, library, all of that, they are up and running. This is looking out of the main entrance. So we had to replace a lot of this driveway. So this is last night about 3:30. We're having to dig that out. We did a compaction test last night. 2 places didn't pass, so we dug them out deeper. Had a compaction set up for 8 o'clock this morning, and it rained most of the night. So we did not pass. So we had to dig that out more. Actually got it roll tested, passed. So we've got gravel back in it. Asphalt's set to come tomorrow. Striping on Saturday.
Isn't it supposed to storm tomorrow?
It's supposed to, there's a chance. There's a chance, but
There's a pretty big chance.
there is. So we'll have it.
Maybe they can just do the asphalt.
Yeah. So we're gonna make it on this. So.
I like the positivity.
This is looking at the lobby. So they're actually getting everything dried in, and everything in this front entrance, it will be opened by the first day of school, so we can drop kids off. They can come right into the lobby, right into the library, and that's where Swope's got his temporary office set up. That's just some more pictures of the yellow board, and actually they're starting to put the liquid applied waterproofing on that today. All the permanent TPO roof that goes over that parapet wall is started today. This is actually the lobby coming in. So they've actually got sheetrock in there, and they were actually painting today when I was there. It was about 2:30. So they will have portions of this open.
Will we have people working on the roof and stuff when school starts, or when school starts, everything's done?
No, we're gonna have some people still working on the roof. We're gonna work from the front back to the part where the gym and everything's gonna be attached, cafeteria. So we're still gonna have several contractors on site. So they're gonna be doing the metal around the soffits and the parapet walls, and just wrapping right on back around to the back. So this is on the west side looking back at the school. They've got all the footings in, but really we've pulled all of the contractors off of this part Everybody's on the front part trying to get the front done, get the classrooms done. We're putting in the camera system today, just trying to button all that up. And then once school starts, they'll slide everybody back over to this. And they'll start laying block and trying to get steel and everything in. We did shift all the construction fence that was around the front. That all moved, so the parking lot to the south will be open for teachers. And then part of the teachers will park up in the parking lot that's between George Junior High and George Elementary. And then the buses will drop off on that side of the building. They'll come in that southeast wing. And that's just another view of it. So that where the white TPO comes over the edge, that's actually the kitchen. Those are temporary. The TPO is just temporary over it to close that up, so we can use the kitchen. And then when the new building gets up, they will make that permanent connection where those buildings connect.
We have a backup plan if, rain comes in and just pushes everything?
We'll have,
Be out there.
yeah. So if we don't get the front driveway done because of weather, we do have a plan to drop the kids off on the south side. So Swope's got a plan in place, working with Kevin, so we'll have a plan. But, okay. You guys have any other questions at George? Okay. So this summer, we've done a bunch of roof repairs and then waterproofing, and that's just a list of the schools. We're working on that. We'll have a couple of those finished up by the time school starts, but we will have contractors on some of these schools as school starts, and then we're going to work around testing, and whatever we need to work around, we'll do that. And then once these are done, we have about 10 more that'll start in the fall and next summer to be complete for all the ones that got hail damaged. And we're still working with insurance to finalize next summer's. This is phase 1 of these. Phase 2, we don't have quite completed with insurance yet, but we will have by the time we're ready to start. So transportation, last month we talked about it a little bit, the new software and everything. Here's kind of what the actual equipment will look like in the buses. So it will give the drivers turn by turn. There's a scanner to the right side of it. So when they actually scan a student, it'll pull up another screen, which I didn't add on here because it had student information on it. But it'll bring up the screen. It'll tell the student's name, their address. It'll tell the driver if they're on the wrong bus or if it's the wrong stop. So it's just another way to verify they are dropping them at the right place, or if they move, that information will automatically load into the system. I think at midnight is what Kevin told me.
What's that?
All this information updates at midnight.
Yes.
Yeah, through
What are they
eSchool.
scanning? You said they're scanning them as they get on. What are they?
They will have it'll be like I don't know if they went with barcode or the little cube. What's it? QR? Yeah, QR code. But they'll have something on their backpack.
Okay.
So they'll scan on and scan off. It'll send the parents, if they sign up, they'll get a text or an email, that their kid got off at this address. The bus is running 3 minutes late or whatever. It'll keep them updated if they sign up for that feature. So, but that's what it looks like. It should help the drivers out a lot, especially a new driver, or if a driver's taking a different route that's not their normal route, it will do turn by turn. So that should help them a lot. Do you guys have any questions on the transportation software? We did get all the routes in. Tracy finished those up yesterday. We're still getting a few sped changes with some sped students. Some of the schools are getting ads as these kids get signed up in school, you know, they have to add them into the system. So she's working through those as they come in.
Does the turn-by-turn stuff, does it like talk to you as you're driving, or do you have like a earpiece that it tells you what's going on, or what?
No, I think it does turn by turn just like your GPS. It'll,
Just like you would
yeah.
have your Siri set up.
Yep. Also on this, it'll update. So if a bus breaks down, or if that bus can't run a route for some reason and it's picking up a different set of kids, they can change the routing in this software. So it should make it a whole lot easier. Okay, that's all I had. I know. I tried to shorten it down. I put 2 pictures per slide, but I don't think it helped. Okay, well, I'll let Gina Smith come up and talk to you about food service.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks.
Mine's definitely shorter than his.
Hi, Ms. Gina.
Hi, thanks for having me here tonight. Let's see. Okay, so summer programs. As you've heard from Ms. Fink and Ms. Tischer, we had a lot going on this summer. There were we served a lot of the summer, so our summer schools. During the course of the summer, so far, we had served 11,851 breakfasts at 9 different locations, 30,181 lunches at 29 locations, 10,242 snacks at 19 different locations. So we were pretty spread out. I had about 50 staff members that rotated through the schedule for the summer. They were real appreciative to have the hours for the summer and really had a good time visiting with the students. I wish I had a lot of pictures of students enjoying meals. I wasn't able to grab those before this tonight, but this is a picture of some of our ladies that worked at Parson Hills. And Parson Hills was one of the sites that was open through most of the summer. And then Walker was our other site that was open. Both of those sites were open to the public. So if they weren't involved in a summer program, then they could go access meals there at those locations. We, this school year, we had our administrative review from the Department of Education and Secondary Education through the Child Nutrition Unit. As part of that review, we were required to have a summer review. So this summer we had our on-site review was July 14th, but before that we had to send them a lot of documentation about every one of those sites and what our process was this summer. And we received our letter back and there were no findings. So that's always a success.
Today, which is fantastic work. So congratulations.
Thank you. They definitely worked hard. We're glad that school's starting because I think the school year might be a little easier than the summer went, but we're excited about the school year starting. With that, we've had some child nutrition staff changes. April Womack, she'll stand. She was promoted to our child nutrition assistant director position. April is not new to Springdale. She is a Springdale High School graduate, and she attended the University of Arkansas, has a bachelor's degree in early childhood education. She has 12 years experience in child nutrition here at Springdale, and she is now currently a certified child nutrition director with the State Department.
Congratulations.
And then Miss Tina Nodine was hired as our child nutrition coordinator. She is also a Springdale High School graduate. She has 11 years of child nutrition experience. We actually stole her from Huntsville, but we're glad to have her here back at Springdale. And she is a certified child nutrition director also through the State Department. We also lost a few of our managers from last year. We had some retire and some that chose to move on to other adventures. But at Bayari, we have a new manager. Her name is Melissa Thompson. She's not here tonight, but I wanted to give you guys a list of our new managers. George Elementary, Betty Yancey. Hunt Elementary is Beatrice Dela Cruz. And Tyson Elementary, Brenda Ruiz. So we're glad to have them on our team. We were excited that we were able to fill those positions. This school year, we're starting not with a full staff, but we have enough staff to accomplish what needs to be done on the first day of school, and we are still looking to hire approximately 18 more individuals for the schools. So it's up from last year. We're being positive about this. So we have, I think, 4 schools that are hurting with for their staff, but we're close. We're close to filling those schools. So we're really excited. We have some interviews scheduled. So let's see. The next thing up is free and reduced. You know that next month this will be the hot topic, and how do things look in reaching our goal of 70%. If you guys know Damon, he always gives me a higher goal, so we're going to shoot for 71%, right? So we like to have a cushion there. We currently have processed over 1,200 applications. Actually all of those have been online. Okay. And then 2,020 students. And that doesn't even include our direct certified list that we get from the state each year. We should get that any day, and so those are automatic approvals. So that does not include the automatic approvals. So we're looking good.
What is direct certified?
Direct certified are families that they're on SNAP benefits, used to be called food stamps. And so we receive a list from the state each year of the families that should automatically qualify. There's no need to fill out a form. And so we take a look at that list. If there are students that live in the same household, then we can match them to that list as well. So maybe 3 of the students in that household are on the list and one's missing, we can add them to our eligibles.
Each year?
Last year was about 3,500, which for us, I feel like is kind of low. So I'm hoping that this year, Any questions about free and reduce? We have paper applications, and they've been delivered to all the schools, so they're ready for their open houses. And we have extras at the warehouse in case anybody needs a free and reduced form. I believe we've even delivered. What's that? 3 languages, yes. And like I said, we really appreciate the online one as well because it's a lot more successful. Yeah.
You know how many meals you served last year? I know it's in the millions. It's between 4 and 5, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Maybe more than 5 million.
Yeah.
It's obviously the largest food service program in the state.
Yes.
You serve more meals out of the schools than probably all the combined restaurants serve in a year.
We are definitely the largest restaurant in Springdale. And we do every program available to us. So as you know, we are a very successful program. We're able to function on our own. And it's because our staff is willing to go above and beyond. And we do breakfast in the classroom, after school snack, fresh fruit and vegetable programs, supper programs, just about anything that they'll allow us to serve food for and receive a reimbursement, we sign up for it. So it does. It makes a difference for a lot of.
Kids, right?
That's right.
I want to commend you on the Parson Hills and Walker opening up in the summer for the community. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, really awesome.
Smith, you did an excellent job.
Yeah.
We're very thankful.
Being here.
Thank you. Have a great team and great leadership.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. Thank you. Oh, wait, I guess we had something to do that. So I've been asked by AAEA and actually John Mulford from Fayetteville if I would mentor him this year. It's a requirement for the state. So last year, I did Dr. Perry from Rogers, and so they've asked me to do John Mulford from Fayetteville as well. But they require approval from the board because it's an extra duty. And I don't think really that's an extra duty. It's really good for us all to be friends anyway and be partners in this. And so if the board allowed me to do that again, I would very much like to be a mentor for John Mulford from Fayetteville. If that's okay with you?
It's a requirement.
State law, yeah, it's in the rules that a new superintendent has to go through new superintendent training, even if they've been one somewhere else.
It's not a requirement that you have to mentor somebody. It's a requirement.
No,
They have
they have to have it.
Gotcha.
And so they requested that I do that, but it's got to be the blessing of the board.
Well, I make a motion that we approve a mentor relationship between Dr. Cleveland and John Mulford of Fayetteville.
Is that you? Okay. We have a motion by Mrs. Creek and a second by Mr. Ramos to approve the request for Dr. Cleveland to serve as a mentor to John Mulford. All those in favor, please say aye. Anybody opposed to that? Looks like you got yourself another job.
Well, no, it's Fayetteville. I think
It's okay.
John Mulford he's a remarkable fellow, and so I'm excited to be his friend and his mentor. Okay, and H that we've added, Ms. Spaulding realized today, she's heading up the ASBA meal and all of that effort to host the ASBA regional meeting. So thank you, Ms. Spaulding. She recognized that it's on the same night as our regular meeting. And so Mr. Hutchinson and I were speaking this morning about a potential issue in November. And so I texted him today and said, hey, we have an issue in October too. He's like, well, let's talk about it. So anyway, if you don't mind, look at your calendars. I know all of you want, especially since we're hosting, you want to be able to be at the meeting. Best for all of you because it's your school meeting. So
Where's the ASBA meeting at?
we're hosting it, and we plan to do it at the School of Innovation in their new cafeteria serving area. Not with the stage, but the one with the great big screen, and it should be great. We hosted our back-to-school events with administrators, and it was fantastic.
So do you want to try to do it that same week on that Thursday, or do you want to do it the week before on a Tuesday or Thursday?
I'm open to your schedules, because I know
Well, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are kind of, Monday's the first of the week, Friday's the end of the week, Wednesday's church night for a lot of people, so Tuesday and Thursday just seem to work the best. But I'm open to anything, I don't care.
I just think if we move it one day and put it on the 9th, is that?
Do it on Monday the 9th?
Are we moving the board meeting or the board meeting?
Does Monday the 9th work for everybody?
it's Columbus Day. It'd be a good day to have a board meeting.
I mean, I don't care, I honestly just don't care, I just need input from everybody else.
Honestly, it's easier for me.
So Wednesday, you're voting for Wednesday or Thursday?
Could we do it on, could we do it on a different Tuesday? That was his first thought.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I couldn't hear you down here. The
Or
air's
that.
a little
That works
loud.
too.
I know if you did it on the 3rd, that would be really difficult to have the financials.
Also, it's better for financial purposes to do it later, not the week before.
What about the 17th?
What about just moving it to the following Tuesday on the 17th?
Yes. I can do the financials for you or something, so it's whatever date's best for you all.
Let's take one out here.
Is Marcia back there with
Are there
the
dates that
district?
will not work for anybody? If we take out the dates that will not work,
Are there dates that will not work? You keep the big calendar.
I'm good with Thursday. I don't know if you guys are.
I'm
Which
good for
Thursday?
Thursday, the 12th.
Thursday,
Thursday the 12th, is Thursday the 12th work?
just 2 days later.
It's just
that good for all y'all?
I can do it.
You're good on this end? You're good? Kevin, 12th, all right for you? Nick? Yeah.
We probably
Okay.
have some junior high.
I'll probably have a junior high football game.
It's all the
Okay.
junior
Y'all
high.
can do it without me.
Football, junior high football.
We got 6 of us.
Unfortunately, even during the winter, there are always basketball games on Tuesday nights.
Yeah. So let's go for the 12th.
Okay.
Let's shoot for the 12th. So we're gonna change the 10th to the 12th. Done. This event
I'm
only.
just gonna wait on Dr. Smith. She'll send me an updated invitation.
She can send you a calendar invite for sure.
Do we need to go ahead and figure out November?
If that's okay.
Wait, what are we doing with November?
That's what
He,
I'm saying.
he has something with his superintendent of the year, his final thing with superintendent of the year. Where are you going?
DC.
Going to Washington DC on the 14th.
Now, you don't have to have me. We just don't really like to be here. I might not have a job when I come back if I'm not here, right?
Kind of like missing football practice.
Yeah,
Your spot.
Lose your spot. Or have to run extra.
Red lines.
So you'll be back the 14th, so we could do it the 16th?
I certainly can.
Can everybody else do it the 16th?
I can.
16th, that Thursday? Michelle? Crumpled up your nose there, I wouldn't.
Maybe it's far enough out.
Okay, so 16th.
Perfect.
All right,
Do you
so,
mind sending? Okay, we have to put it on the website as well. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, I really do.
all right, hopefully that'll be all of them.
And the only one I know later will be in February issues. That's true, just take care of that too. That's true. We don't have to talk about that.
All right, are we ready? Yeah? The only item I have on your agenda tonight is seeking approval for the 53 updated policies that were changed in response to legislation. Kind of my process, and we've talked about this before, I start with the ASBA model policies and the changes that they recommend, and mostly stick to those. Some of the wording I don't necessarily like, or it doesn't fit kind of with our practice, and so I make a few minor changes, but mostly based on the ASBA model policies and all based on legislative changes that are now all in effect as of August 1st. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't.
Thank you for sending it early.
Yes, I try.
That was massive.
I worked really hard to try to get it ready early enough that you would have some time to review it. It's one of those things I would think that I was almost done and then think, oh no, I got to go back and fix that. And I'll probably, tomorrow morning see things that needed to be fixed. But for the most part, I feel pretty good about them.
Motion, right?
Yes.
Encompassing all of it, okay.
You follow the law too, I mean.
Yes.
law supersedes.
Yeah. I mean, most of it is just
Whether
mirroring
we
the.
approve it or not, we're gonna do it.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the updated policies as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have, a motion by Mr. Emerson, a second by Mr. Bell to approve all of the updated policies in our district. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed to that? Good.
All right. Thank you.
Dr. Smith.
Good evening, Dr. Cleveland Board. A few things about new staff. I want to start back in February of this year. Dr. Cleveland in his leadership meeting said, we need to ensure that our new teachers coming to Springdale at the start of the next school year, which would be this year, are onboarded properly to the PLC process and how we do CTMs in our district. So that kind of started the work for the 2 days of new teacher. On August 3rd, we did a 1-hour Zoom where teachers were in their building with their administrators, but the C&I team led a 1-hour Zoom where we really talked about who we are as Springdale, what does that mean to be in Springdale, and how we consider Springdale home. Ms. Fink then covered the PLC structures in terms of vision, mission, values, and goals, and what does that mean in the CTM process. Ms. Tischer went on to explain what does it mean to have the teaching and learning cycle in Springdale, so I've got those 3 images. And then Ms. Lindley then came in and talked about where do you find all the materials, and then talked about the next day, which is where everybody was going to get together at DTSOI. So then on August 4th, we all met at DTSOI. And so one thing I'm going to stop just for a second and recognize this person. So back in January, we knew that our summer was going to be very heavy, and you just heard from Ms. Tischer and Ms. Fink about all the different summer programs. Well, we knew that was going to happen. That's also the same time we do the Innovation Institute. So Ms. Bishop, would you stand up, please? Ms. Bishop is our technology integration specialist for the district, and she has run the Innovation Institute for how many years now? 10 years. And she does an amazing job. And when we knew that that wasn't going to be an option this year, she said, hey, why can't we combine all the things we do at the Innovation Institute when we bring our new teachers together? And so that's what we did, and it was pretty amazing. So on August 4th, we started out the morning at DTSOI in the West Cafeteria, and we had Mr. Hutchinson. He started out the morning, and he did an amazing job representing you, and really set the tone for how much the board values the teachers. And so you did an amazing job. I just wanted to say that. And I know Mr. Ramos was there. Mr. Emerson, I didn't know if you were there or not. I thought you might be there or not, so thank you.
He wants his name on the slide.
I'm sorry. Then Chris Steckline came in and talked about, all the different opportunities they have in Springdale with the Education Foundation. And then Dr. Cleveland finished the morning session just really talking about our 4 pillars, but he did it in a way that connected the 4 pillars to home, which is our theme this year. And so the teachers, if you'll notice how full the room is, the teachers were all there, and they got to hear from Dr. Cleveland and kind of the set for the day. After that meeting, we then went into an option, and this is where Ms. Bishop this was part of her brainchild, but there are requirements of new teachers when they come to, if they're first-year teachers or if they're coming from out of state. So we wanted them to have an option of what to do, but we also wanted to embed some integration and some technology stuff. So Ms. Bishop also worked with Megan Thompson, I said that wrong, didn't I? Thornton, yeah, at DTSOI, and they created this, and I put one at each of your places so you can see what it looks like. But they were required to do 3 hours of training if they were new, and Damon Donnell did that. He did an amazing job. And then we opened it up and said, these are the options that you can have, and please sign up. And then we had stations all throughout DTSOI where they could pick and choose the different things that they felt really pertained to them. Amazing sessions, very, very positive. We were sponsored by breakfast from ASTA and lunch with SEA, and SEA did a great job. They brought in a ton of supplies for the teachers to take. Miss Bishop, because she has done so much with the Innovation Institute, she was able to bring in gifts and bags and prizes, and we gave, I think, 1 in 4 people won a prize of some sort, so it was a pretty spectacular day. But what I do want to show you is she created this 47 of the afternoon, so I'm just going to go ahead and show that. really was a spectacular day. And I will say, I had two very specific people that came up and said, I have been in multiple districts and never before have I seen central office staff support new teachers like they've done in Springdale. And they were just so complimentary of Springdale. This couldn't have happened Lindley, Ms. Lowe, and Jake Beers, so they did a great job. And then throughout that, you'll see a lot of instructional specialists were also presenting, and then we had teachers throughout the district that also presented to new teachers. So just a great day of learning for everybody, but I think they felt very when they. The other thing that I want to talk to you about just quickly is the numbers. Please know that this is only referring to new teachers, or new staff. So in 22-23, throughout the year, we had 99 new classified people come in. This year, there was 104 as of right now. That does not mean we added any. That just means the rotation of people moving in and out was a little bit larger this year. In terms of our certified, certified numbers, in 22-23 we had 197. As of right now we have 213. I should say as of this weekend we had 213. You saw that room. I think most of the time, I think last year you probably had about 150 teachers.
We usually hire 150 to 170. That 197 wasn't by this day. You know, we have people that leave us throughout the year for whatever reason. We hire people back. So that's a culminating number. I expect the 213 to be significantly higher. You know, I can tell you we had a speech path resign today, so we have 5 speech path openings. So if anyone's watching this, if you're a speech path and you'd like to interview, we'd love to interview you.
Yes. And you could tell just by looking at that room that we had about 50 more teachers there than we have in the. I also wanted to break it down by a little bit more. 2 new administrators, but it's funny, they're really not new because Molly Brock is coming back and Katie Wilson was coming back. So even though we had a lot of shift, those were internal, these were the new to our district. We had roughly 6 that were fine arts or just plain arts of some, 7 special education teachers. We had 40 coaches. We had 3 academic support interventionists, and those are funded out of our ESSER funds. Roughly 14 CTE, 3 counselors, 3 that I could identify were advanced placement, 3 instructional facilitators. And so when we look at these numbers, we also know that these are the ones that are new to our district, and then we had 7 pre-K. So I just wanted to give you a breakdown of those numbers. Those were as of this week. I know when you're looking at overall numbers, where were we last year in terms of staffing and where are we now, we won't be able to get that until closer to September. So I'll try to update you at that point. Do you have any questions? Okay. I do want to also remind everybody that tomorrow is the chamber event, and then the following day is our back to school faculty event, and it is in the afternoon. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Cleveland, nice to be here tonight. Our financials look relatively the same. We've got our balances were presented to you in the earlier documents. Our revenues are just a little bit behind last year. I'm not concerned about that. It's still early in the year. You'll also note that on the budgeted revenue and the budgeted expenditures that were as presented, that's actually last year's budgeted amounts. The new budget will be presented to the board next month in September. This is kind of the way we have done it historically. And so you'll see a little bit of a change in that. I'll present that to the next board meeting, and you'll see that reflected in the August financials. Expenses are just a little bit higher, which is to be expected, you know, our salary increases that we had for this year. So I'm not concerned about that either. And that is, Mr. Ellis told me I had 3 minutes, so I think I made that under time. Now, Mr. Ellis has kept me busy, though, with all of the CTE ESSER, so we're continuing to do some more of those. But do y'all have any questions?
When does our ESSER stuff run out?
Well, liquidation date is December of 2024. So we would need to have everything obligated by next September. With the way we're rolling things out and adding new programs with CTE and all the requests I've had, I don't see any problem with us being able to liquidate that.
Okay.
So we still have some time. Pardon?
We don't want to give any money back.
We sure don't. Absolutely not.
Second.
Who's that? Is that Michelle? We have a motion by Mrs. Creek, a second by Mrs. Cook to approve the financials as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Cleveland. My name is Valerie Hanna. I am the president of Springdale Education Association. Ms. Mansell is bringing around a little back-to-school sunshine for you. Last month, we would have liked to have been here, but since the meeting changed by a week, I was actually down in Orlando at the National Education Association Representative Assembly. And that was quite an experience. I definitely learned a lot, and I also learned that I do not want to be a politician, for sure. But I kind of got a little bit, inspired, so your bag kind of has a little bit of sunshine in it. You'll figure that out when you look at it. And I also took, and there's a little tiny vial in there with some white sand in it, which when I was filling them today, was thinking to myself, this looks kind of funny for me to be giving them to this. But my thinking on it was that little vial of sand is a reminder of where we've come. And I thought it was funny because when we started yesterday and our theme this year is home, that sand reminded me of how important it was to come back home. I saw what was happening in all the other states. I saw, what we looked like collectively on education in the United States, and coming home to Arkansas is where I want to be, regardless of what is happening at our state level in education. This is where I want to be, and this is where I want to teach. So that little vial is just a reminder of, sometimes even though something might look good, there's a little sparkle to it, you still want to come home. So speaking of those of us that are here at home, we did my this year. Miss Callie Day is returning as our vice president. Miss Mansell is returning as treasurer. Ashley Pledger, who's from Sonora Middle School. Jenna Schwiso is continuing as our elementary board member. Christy Smith as our middle school board member. Vale Black as our junior high board member, Erin Kemp as our high school board member, and and Sherry Pinalto as our ESP board member. That was just more for context. The other thing that I came back to after that came in a little loud, that I came back to after I got back from Orlando was I had this nice email with this little contract in it. And I have been to the board meetings. We knew we were going to get the raises that had been put into place, but actually physically getting to see that contract, I actually was like, wow, it was more than I thought it was going to be. So I think that it really solidifies the idea that you guys are at the Springdale teachers' or all educators in Springdale's best interests in mind. Then the only icky news that I heard over the summer was when we were talking a little more about LEARNs and the concerns that we had about the items in there about how our media specialists and library aides could kind of come under attack based on choices of books that are made. If there is a challenge made against a book, that it puts those people specifically in the line of fire, and I am sure that conversation has been had with Ms. Clay, with everyone, that there will be protections put in place for those people. And also with the concerns that I personally have about that, you know, they've got if there's an ethics claim, you got 24 hours to put it to the state. And I'm like, that's not fair. To have it go straight to the state and be like, but I didn't do anything. But like I said, I am sure that those conversations have already been had. It was just a concern that we definitely had as an association. So I feel like I had a lot to say because apparently I didn't come last month, so now I got all this stuff. But the next thing, last Friday, we got to help, as Dr. Smith said, we got to help bring 250 lunches to DTSOI and feed those new teachers and novice teachers that were coming in, and all the admin and everyone that was there to, you know, put that all in place. And it was an amazing event. We have our back to school event, chamber event coming up tomorrow, which we're very excited for our part of it. And we've got, in September, we're hoping to start monthly meetings for our transportation and maintenance members. Because they haven't been done in quite a while. It's kind of hard because a lot of times their schedules are the opposite of, so being able to have time or get a time when they can all be available is difficult, but that is definitely on our agenda this year to make sure that they feel supported by SEA and AEA. So I believe that is all I have. I'll have for you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Is there anything else that we need to? There's no patrons here. Nobody, I think we're good. Anything else?
No, sir.
You good? Well, with that, I will say that the meeting is adjourned almost at 6:30. That was my goal, to be out here at 6:30.
I had the volume.
Yep, see you.
I had it.